Welcome back to ESL Southeast Championship Season 6 online playoffs. We are just about to jump into picks and bans on our second game between Different Dimension and Bontech. DD leading with 1-0 so far. I'm Jojo Trapanli Paris, and I'm here with Brody Gosta Vernon to bring you second picks and bans.
Yeah, kind of respectful. We do see Narband, but I'd have to say going into this one, it's going to be an interesting just to see how the teams go into the team comp again. Right now, they have a feel for each other. They know exactly the kind of style that they're playing, in the way that the team fights went, in the way that they took the engagement. So the picks and bans right now is going to be crucial for Bontech if they want to get back into this one. They want to try get some strong picks, and especially I can see them try focus a little bit more on the early game this time.
Alright, so it's not a surprise that Kama was banned as well, even though she did get caught very early into the game. Oh boy! We do see Bagger back to his old favorite. That Setsuwani. He's known for that Setsuwani in the Balkan scene, and he does resort back to it. He's like, okay, look, I play a lot of Maokai as well. It went alright, didn't go great because the whole team was trying to force a lot of fights early game, like we said. But there's one Setsuwani player out there who is very noticed. That is him.
Yeah, and but guess who slipped through the picks and bans this time? And it's going to be the Zaya, but are they going to pair it with the Rakan? Rakan isn't banned this time, so we could potentially see him being picked up, but they're going to opt for the kind of painful top lane at the current meta right now is Jace.
Is Jace, and Bontech usually chooses to play something tanky in the top lane, so anything you pretty much put against that Jace that is tanky, Jace is going to be able to go through. Exactly. So, it's going to be again the Ornn for the top lane of Bontech. It did not work on the last game. It did not work, but let's see if he can let's see if he can pull himself together this time and be able to play differently this time against an even more dangerous opponent, the Jace.
Well, they did ban Jarvan, which is kind of respectful, and they do get a great pickup in the mid lane. It is going to be Azir, so but going back to that Ornn pick, I don't know how you're really going to be playing this, because Sejuani can't really be there as much as Jace could have been, or Azin could have been, or somebody who's a lot more aggressive. So they're kind of going to have to try play safe this time and not give the early advantage straight over to the Jace, and then last game it was not. So there's a lot to play around this game. They are going to Dimension are going for a different tactic right away. They they have the Jace, they have this Aya, now they're blocking in the Braum. That's going to be a painful comp to deal with, just those three right there.
On the other hand, Azir gets locked in. Anything that went through the cracks, because the Karma and the Na had to be banned, is locked in for these two teams. Kalista apparently didn't make sense onto this game. You cannot, in any way, play Kalista versus the Azir. Azir destroys Kalista, and since he did go through the picks and bans phase and they didn't choose him on the first two picks, Bontech is going to be like, thank you very much, we're going to take them because your Kalista was very painful next game. So if we take Azir now, there is no freaking way you are picking the Kalista, and indeed DD are going to ban the Kalista. And number one counter to the Azir is the casting, who's going to be getting banned from Bontech, and I want to see the Xerath. I want to see the Xerath so bad. I want to see that counter that everybody has been talking about lately. I'm here and I'm waiting.
I'm just playing patiently. These teams could do it. They could go for it, but they could again just fall back to another counter pick. But we did see Kassadin is going to be banned, and I'd have to say the Kassadin into Azir is a strong pick and a counter. But we do see a jungler lock, and there's going to be Elise, who this is going to be the first time we're going to be seeing her in this one.
I am getting very excited. The chat is spamming Katarina lock in, and I'm holding my breath right here. I'm so holding my breath to see it. Elise is gonna be getting locked in. They are going again for that early game pressure, but they do have also a lot of scaling and protection with the Braum and the Zaya ultimate. On the other hand, Bontech is going all in, and they are gonna have that Lucian as well. Or are they? Because we did see them on the weekend. They did pick the Vayne. play against ClickTech, and they are suffering through a lot of ADCs.
They're like, well, you guys left them open. Besides, banning the Callista and the Ezreal, we can kind of just sift through and then like get a pick. But I do think it is going to be the Varus that is going to be locked in. Like, that adds a lot of your team fight potential. That allows you to at least, have CC engaged there with the Ornn. Then Sejuani coming in from the side, Leona going in with the ultimate to slow. That is right now. I have to say, Bontech have a strong team fight comp right there, but. Can they really get to it? Zaya's she's hard to deal with, and then pair that with the Braum, and then you have the lease for the a bit of the early game as well. And then are we gonna see the Raz pick? Surely we are going to be seeing the Raz pick.
I'm having the most disappointed face anyone can see. Thank God that I'm not being shown on camera right here. I mean, it would not whatsoever be possible to play Katarina against the Varus with the ultimate, Leona, of course, the Azir wall, which is the easiest right there to interrupt you, Ornn, Sejuani, all this CC. I mean, if you did lock in the Katarina after all this is in the enemy team, I'd be like, okay, this guy has some serious nerves to pull Katarina onto all that CC, but...
Well, Katarina's been hurting me a lot.
It's not going to be my lucky day. It's not going to be my lucky day today.
No. We haven't seen Aatrox top yet either, so... Hey, well, at least I got the Jason. I respect the Jace. Like, right now I've been playing a lot of Jace. Jace is kind of strong in the meta. The way he's kind of shifting towards... you have a lot of the Ornn in the top lane. You have the Nas. You have this tanky, kind of bruiser top laners. And then you have Jace, who does a lot of damage against the tanks. It's a strong pickup. Like, I think right now, Dimension... that if they get scale off this early game once again... I don't know, like... Bontech are playing this kind of like a team fight orientated late game comp again, but I don't know if it's going to even like get to that stage once again. You have to try wait for the mistakes. Bontech's going to have to try, get a little bit of early game themselves, with the Varus, Leona, but that's going to be hard to deal with, especially with the Xayah Braum comp.
That Braum is going to be very crucial late game, because once the Unbreakable goes up, all I see in the team of Bontech is kind of like protect our immobile APC and ADC strategy, where you want to be protecting the Azir going with the soldiers, and on the other hand you want to be protecting, of course, the Varus, that all he has to get away is his flash. Once this is down, the Leona is going to be going in, the Ornn is going to be going in, the Sejuani is going to be going into the gate, and then suddenly you have a Varus sitting on the back, like all on his lonesome right then.
Yeah.
If you do get jumped from the Elise, if you do get blasted by the shock blast right there from Jace, and you have the Ryze TPing his team onto the back line where you're all alone, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, like I don't know, I'm gonna have to give this like the pick wise, I really feel Bontech if they play, safe this time, if they don't give away that early game advantage and they don't get, give over the kills onto, the Xayah or the Jace even, and they just play this slowly out to the 15-minute mark, don't make mistakes by trying to get the objectives early on, wait for them to try and make the move and then counter that, and then trying to get back into the late game and then get back into this. Because if you let Ornn get behind, you're going to see exactly the same thing. It's going to be a complete repeat of the previous, game where these teams are going like, well, Ornn's not doing too much damage. Ornn's going to be out of this one. He's not able to 1v1 Jace. And then that just kind of leaves your main tank out of there. The engage isn't too strong right there because Azir might be behind because, the roaming coming from Jace and Elise early game. So there's a lot of potential for them to get into this game, potentially take this to a third game in the series, but they have to play this carefully. And with an Elise pick up now for Dimension, the Jace, the Xayah, it's going to be really hard to do that.
Well, let's see how this is going to go. We are going to very shortly be going into the game in a couple of minutes, and right now we do see sort of the same situation, but in this instant DD have really strong early and really strong late in different lanes, but they do. That Ryze is going to be forcing the Azir onto a cleanse, most likely. And then you have the Jace that can really beat the Gnar early game. And then you have Leona, Varus, they have the advantage early, but the Xayah scales out of control in the late game. And once Unbreakable goes up, Varus damage is not going to be going through. So how do we think we're going to see the early game moving around? Because BT has their own way on playing around Setsuani, because they are very famous for that Setsuani jungle in their team, and they have a lot of teams banning it against them. And now it's in their hands. So we saw it banned last game, and now it's in their hands. So how do you think the early game is going to go? We see both the mid laners with cleanse right here.
I don't know how this is gonna go right off the bat, because like it all comes down to how the teams actually play, if they're gonna go for this aggressive or the more safe style. But I don't know. I have a feeling like Bontech don't really have. If you think of it, they don't have too much damage to follow up in the actual team fights. Like, okay, Zia's gonna be one of your main damages. Then you have Varus, but Ornn, I don't think Ornn's going to be doing too much damage, unless because he's not going to be able to, get on to Jace or Xayah. I don't, especially, with the rise with his cage there. Then you have the Braum ultimate, then you have his passive, then you have the Elise. You also have all sorts of the roots from the Xayah. I think it's going to be really hard for, Ornn to get in and do the damage. And like I said, Juani can catch somebody off guard, but again, she doesn't do the most amount of damage. And I think for Bontech to get into a team fight, they're going to have to catch a Xayah or Jace off guard. They're going to have to catch somebody there and try and force a disengage, or at least get a pick and move into this one. Like, I don't know how they're really going to be playing it. I've got a feeling both teams are going to go like aggressive early on, like we saw the last game. But I don't know. Who knows what we're going to be seeing in this one?
I don't really see how it's possible for the Xayah to get caught.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When he has the ultimate and of course flash and all that. And it is definitely a possibility to engage onto the Elise and kill her before she can repel and get away, or the Rise. So there are big potential right there by Bontech, but they are going to have to pick and choose their fights very, very wisely, because one wrong move and DD has so much damage early game, mid game, and late game that they can literally turn every single fight there is around. But saying that, people should not be forgetting about our giveaway. They do have the chance of winning the ESL 2 Pro chair. So make sure exclamation mark giveaway onto the chat to be able to win the chair that is showing right now onto your screen. And if you have any questions,
well, like you can enter the giveaway, exclamation mark giveaway to enter that. But also, don't forget you can type in the exclamation mark commands to see the rest of the commands, such as exclamation mark cup, which is going to give you information on the event, exclamation mark social, which is going to give you all sorts of details about, we're going to be posting like what matchups are coming, who's going where, what teams are going to be casted, what games, what streams where. And then you have exclamation mark bracket to see where these teams are falling. So who's going ahead, who's dropping to the loser bracket, who's going to be out of the tournament, and who's going to be qualifying, for the event that's going to be coming up shortly. But also, don't forget, exclamation mark giveaway to win yourself the ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers for the ESL store.
And if we haven't replied to your question yet and you want to know something that we didn't say, or you didn't bother listening to us, because that's the case, we're fine with it, you can simply go to esl.g/officialsec and learn everything you need to know more about any question that you might have. Slowly but surely, we are moving on to the loading screen, and I hope my face hasn't frozen in a very weird position, which unfortunately does, both mine and yours. But it happens, and it's fun, and I can't wait for the Photoshop memes after that. I might add.
Oh well, who knows? They could Photoshop Katarina into that. That'll make you happy.
You know what? If I do get Photoshopped into Katarina, I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, come on.
New profile picture?
Could be, because my my picture above my profile picture on Facebook is Katarina, and she has been there for quite a long time. So I would appreciate if I could have one as a profile picture, probably as well. But back into the game, I'll take you into the team fights. What do you go for?
I just think it's going to get to the point where Bontech aren't going to be able to, catch somebody off guard to even initiate a team fight. So I think the team fights are going to go the way of, Dimension. Just seeing their decision-making last game, just seeing the picks they got in this one, seeing how they react, how well coordinated, the mid laner engagements are, how smart their disengagements are, how they catch everybody off guard. I'm gonna give it to a different dimension for this one. I like, as much as the team fight comp is there for Bontech, especially with the Ornn, Sejuani, Azir. I don't see it happening. Like, it's unless they find a perfect engagement where Zaya doesn't have flash, she doesn't have ultimate, they catch you off guard, they pop her instantly, then Elise gets caught off guard trying to make an engagement, and then Jace also doesn't, runs out of mana and isn't able to do too much. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it straight over to a different dimension, and we'll see.
So we are talking about a 2-0 clean sweep here. Is that what the stats say? I would say.
I would say just like the mentality of different dimension, the way they played out the last game, how swift their decision making was, how well they worked together. That's going to be hard to deal with. Like, we could see some cracks here and there, and then that's up to Bontech to take advantage of that and like completely shut them down. But I don't know, like, Bontech have to forget last game happened. They have to pretend, Ornn going into this one is going to be a strong effect. And they have to also go like, okay, well, we can do this. It's a fresh start. We don't have to face, very well-fed champions on the whole team. So they can get a nice clean slate and go into this one headstrong.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from the boy Ghost Star right there. We are about to go into game 2 versus Different Dimension and Bontech. And I want to see your hashtags again. Hashtag BTWin if you are with Bontech, and hashtag DDWin if you are with Different Dimension. We are going straight into our game. And here we go. It's all starting here and it could all end here. It is the first ticket that is going to be going into one of these two teams. Is it going to be DD, the first team that qualifies for the LAN finals, or does Bontech have what it takes to turn it around into a 1-2 reverse sweep?
Oh yeah. It's going to be an interesting matchup, especially in the mid lane. Like, you've seen how strong a powerful pick Azir is, but going up against the Raz, especially like you saw, just how strong he is, especially in the like mid game era, and then I don't know, it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams take the approach, especially in the early game aggression. You do have the Elise this time.
This is going to be throwing right there her little spider to try and zone Sejuani away so she can put down some wards. And that Ornn has been caught in between 3 people. Are we going to be seeing a flash right there? No, we're not. Because there is backup right there for that Ornn. And he was beaten down to bits last time in the game. And I hope he can compose himself and come back to this game and show a different face for us. If Bontech want to be able to draw this game and be able to take it into a third game for a chance to take the first ticket for the LAN finals.
Oh yeah, like, that's, you just have to pretend like last game was a warm-up game for your Ornn. You have to go like, okay, well, I know what to do now. I've got into this. I got in hang of, how everything's going to work and get into this one. But we are going to see a very similar start, but it's switched over this time with Elise starting by the red in the top side, and then, the red also going down for Sejuani in the bot side. So we could potentially see, Sejuani make a little bit more early gank up to the mid to try and help Azir get along early on. And that could be, not like a saving grace, but this could be like how they get into this early on, is have Sejuani go to mid early on, get Azir ahead, and then just continue off of that.
Well, we are seeing already the push happening for the bot lane of DD. They do want this wave shoved in underneath the tower of Bontech because they don't want the Leona having all that space to be able to engage onto the Zarya, especially before 6. And I am very interested to see that Sejuani has started from the red buff, so she can probably assist that Ornn into the top lane. And from our experience from last game, I think the Ornn really needed that game to be able to get his head back into the game and get a little bit ahead this time.
Oh yeah, like, you want your Ornn to be ahead. Like, when Ornn's ahead, he can punish basically anybody in the top lane. Like, you see him already doing a little bit of punishment onto Jace, and like, his sustain is there, so he can stay in lane and he can just continue to, be one of the harassing people in the top lane. So like, if you can get him ahead early, it relieves a lot of pressure. Like, even one kill can kind of like snowball him already into the game, and then that allows your Sejuani to just, help out mid and bot a lot more.
Alright, and it's exactly what we said. The Sejuani is going towards the top lane. There are a lot of pings because they know that C started from the bottom side towards the top side, so they do look exactly the timing of the Jace going toward that tri-burst. That timing was perfect. He knew that at about that time, Sejuani would be going towards that top lane. So that timing on the ward was beautiful right there from the Jace, and it's most likely going to keep him alive when and if the Sejuani wants to be going back towards his top lane.
Oh yeah, and we saw like a mirror image in the mid lane where the junglers were just hanging Elisus and then Sejuani was on the top. So they kind of know exactly where everybody's going to be, and like just having your junglers and then also top lane with the Jace at that ward, just being so aware of the surrounding, it's going to be hard to really pull off a gank like this. A lot of action going on at the bot lane right here, as there's an engagement, and there is going to be the ignite onto the Leona.
I think we might have lost Ghost Star right here.
I had a client freeze, and it was a very long freeze, but we are going to see 2 kills going on right there straight ahead, and I don't know, like right now that's not what Bontech want, and that's not what they needed at all. Like these engagements right now, you're gonna have the 1 kill into the Xayah, you're gonna have the 1 kill into the Lease. That's just gonna allow them to snowball, and that's gonna allow them to have, to force this Sejuani to try and make the counter picks, and that's gonna pull her away from the top lane to help the, all needed the help to get ahead of this Jace, and I don't know, it's gonna have to pull Sejuani away from that.
Are back into the game. 4 minutes and 60 seconds, which means 5 minutes. I am not sure what I'm saying. We did have a little bit of trouble with the freeze right there. That's why I'm out of my waters, but we are coming very strong back into this game.
Oh yeah, like, you just look at the gold lead right now. There's some action going to be happening in the top lane right here.
And we do also have the mid lane. Jace is going to be fighting between the Ornn and the Sejuani. He's going to be going down eventually. And the Ornn is going to be the one that takes the kill for that matter. That's going to be a huge breathing air for that Ornn into the top lane, who does usually suffer a lot against the Jace. But the Cocoon barely misses, and the Elise is going to be in the mid lane. The ultimate is not going to be there from the Azir enough. And Rise is going to be receiving his first kill of the game.
Oh yeah, like, things are going well for Bontech in the terms of they managed to get the kill onto Ornn, but like, the counter pickup was right there for, the Rise and the Lease, and that's going to be problematic. They got back into this, and then they instantly, lost that little advantage, or that little sliver of hope that they had. It's just like, oh well, we're going to take it away now, and we're going to give, the kill onto Rise in the mid lane, and that's going to be, I wouldn't say like problematic for Azir, too much to the point where Azir's still got a lot to work with against the Rise. So there is some like potential for them to make it back in this, but right now the Sejuani has been roaming all over the place, just trying to catch up to the Lease, and it's not working at all.
Well, the Xayah kill doesn't help either with the assist, because he's up a BF sword, and the Varus is forced into a farming mode at this point, and they are going again towards that late game. But I'm gonna stand on that kill onto that Ornn, and as I say that, the Cocoon's gonna be landing onto the Azir. EQ combo away from danger, but the Rise has arrived as well. The Sejuani is right there. The ultimate is going to be landing. Cleanse away from the Rise. Brom is waiting on the sideline, and that at least is most likely going to be going down with the assist of Leona as well. 1-0 for the Sejuani. We did say that Bontech is not for the Sejuani. He's doing work so far. Did give 1 kill to the Ornn, who is suffering. Beautiful knock back there by the Jace into the top lane, and he's going to flash away. I was about to say he's dead to right, but he does flash away on that right moment to save his life. The Leon is going to be engaging onto that Xayah, who is not level 6 yet to be able to get away. Ignite is going to be going down, and so with it, it's going to be going down the Xayah. Brom is caught in between 2 ladies, but he's going to be able to flash away, and we're going to have another pause while the Ornn and the Sejuani, the Ornn and the Jace, I'm sorry, are fighting.
Well, like like right now, your Sejuani does have 2 kills, and that is a lot helpful. Like, she's been struggling to catch up to where the Elise is, but then catching off guard, having the perfect engagement, and then taking down the mid lane, getting 2 kills, and now that's where you can start to like snowball a Sejuani. You can be like, okay, I've got enough gold, I've got enough items, I can get back into this. I can now help out the top lane because right now, Jace, while the farm is even and Ornn does have a kill, Jace is still bullying Ornn so much in the lane. Like, he's kind of constantly being, below the half health. And that's not good for your Ornn, because if the moment comes where you have to try and TP to make a play in the bot lane or around the dragon, which is up, so
Here
not going to
comes
happen
again.
to
The
be
fight
there.
has started in between the Jace and the Ornn, and I feel like I'm having deja vu right now because this is the exact same fight. The Ornn flashed away, but this time the Ornn doesn't have flash, and he does have 2 more angry members of DD coming his way. Slight freeze for the client just to keep you on your toes to see if this Ornn is going to be dying or not. And another freeze from the client. Thank you, Mama Riot, for this. Thank you for keeping us very, on our toes, not knowing what is going to happen with this Ornn. Is he going to be going down? The shield is going to be popping, and the Jace, the first one to go down. But the other is right there. Cocoon's going to be landing onto that, as in she's going to be going spider mode very soon, or is he going to be giving the kill to the Rise? No! The Azir is going to be able to run away because none of the 2 had flash to get that last hit on them.
I don't know if that's just like a bit of miscommunication, and they're like, well, okay, well, it's not a big deal. That was kind of like a weird engagement, and then they just let him walk away. But like, I would expect it to at least to just shut that down, like instantly, and be like, well, okay, we can take this. It doesn't matter who it goes to, as long as we get the kill this early on, as long as it goes towards a team. But Elise right now is in the weird position where she's now caught up once again to the Sejuani who was having the advantage, while Sejuani was, getting caught off a little bit. So I don't know, there's a lot that they can kind of go on, but right now, Dimension are slowly but surely slithering away just a little bit with the gold lead. Like, we haven't seen a tower go down yet, we haven't seen a major team fight, but we are definitely starting to see, the plays being made from the Sejuani and the Ornn now, who is also 2-1, but right now, I'd like to see the Ornn start punishing Jace and trying to snowball ahead and not let him take these fights, because look at the damage that comes out from the Ornn. But look at the return damage.
Exactly. The Elite is going to be joining the Jace into the top lane. They are trying to get the goat man down. Who is going to be taking the kill out of the 2 is the question. And the Elite is just going to back off and give the kill to the Jace, because he really needs it for exactly what you said. He needs to be ahead. He needs to be standing onto against that Ornn very, very well with a lot of items, very farmed up, which he is right now, quite farmed up. But on the other hand, 1 kill goes down for DD. And very well replied by Bontech, taking that Infernal Drake that is going to help them.
Like, that's a decision I like from them. They're like, this time they wait for an engagement from somebody. They wait for somebody to, try and make a play somewhere, and then they reply by taking an objective. And like, that's the smart thing. That's how you keep, you don't let them get the gold advantage or like get the lead. It's just to continue to trade. But we are going to see Jace getting caught out. Like low mana, low HP. And the question is Ornn going to be able to follow this up? Should definitely be able to.
They have caught the Jace off on the side, and there's 2 members of Bontech chasing him, and there is a flash onto the Sejuani who's going to be cutting some spot on the right. He's going to flash through the wall and trying to get the Jace on the top lane. He's only 1 hit away from dying. There's another client freeze. There he goes. Down goes the Jace. No assist for the Ornn. That is so terrible for him right now.
That's a bummer. That's definitely like right there. I suppose like, okay, you got the kill, you got the 3-0-1 Sejuani going right now, but you want the assists onto this Ornn, especially, Jace is being punishing him quite a bit, even though Jace is losing a lot of these engagements. He has 131 and he almost pushed down that tower, but we're seeing the smart play here. Ornn, is going to be just slowing them, and they are going to turn right onto Rise, doing so much damage.
And they've got Elise on the bottom.
And that's going to be a Elise falling down. But Raz managed to live just off that one, just with a little bit of sliver of health. 3 of those tick bars. And now here comes the return flower from them. The ultimate is going to come out. He's going to get the roots. He is going to get there. But Sejuani is going to leave for the life. And Ornn is trying to save it. Ornn should be able to pick up 1 here. Elise does pick up the 1. But now can he 1v1 the Jace? It's going to be the answer that's going to be answered in a few seconds right now. And it's going to be, the battle between the two top laners, and I don't know, it's getting a little bit, yeah, they're just going to both disengage from that one, continue. They could re-engage at the moment, but that's anybody's fight in the top lane. And right now, with the team so even, only 1k gold advantage for DD, you don't want to give them any slither to work off right there.
Well, the Jace didn't have mana to be able to return onto the Ornn, and the Ornn had used his dash and he couldn't follow up. No flashes for either top laners as well, so they are going to be backing off. But this time we do see a different game. We do see the Jace on 1-3 saying that the Elise is down there, up there in the top lane, and he's going to be getting the Cocoon and Shock Blast, but it's in the end Elise who's going to be executing the Ornn 3-2. Gave that first kill to her top laner, which we were wondering, who's going to take the kill? Is it going to be the Jace, or does the Elise take the kill away? It was the Jace that took that kill, but Elise is not letting it happen anymore. She's like, alright, you're 1-3.
It's my turn now.
Exactly. Sit on your Hex Drinker. I'm going to carry you on the rest of the map right now. You're going to get ahead at some point. You're fine against the Ornn. You took the tower, the first tower of the game. So I'll take the kill from now on.
Oh yeah, like, if you have a snowballing Elise, you can do a lot of damage, but look at the bad engagement from here. The flash is going to come up, and here comes the Leona ultimate from the side, and that's just going to be Braum put out. Leona is going to jump up, but out comes the ultimate from Braum, and that's going to be a nice kill going away, Sejuani taking him down. But now here comes the return reply, is going to get away, but here comes Elise from the side doing so much damage, but here comes the ultimate, just catches one of them, but Raz should be going down very shortly. Yes, he does go down, and Sejuani lands the perfect ultimate, taking down Elise. And now they can just push for the objective. This is exactly what Bontech needed. And right now, you can back off. You can go towards the repair. But here comes from the side. Look at this damage. 1v4. Oh. But he does manage to take away Sejuani. But he's taken a bit too greedy. And there. The bot lane. Look at the damage that's coming out onto the Ornn. But that's completely greedy right there. You got the tower. Back off right away. Get away from this fight. Don't give away any more kills.
1v1 in the Ornn, though, in the bot lane. She does have a flash and a heal. That Jace could almost 1v4 right there. Takes two kills underneath his tower with 4 members of Bontech right there. Yeah, okay, they took the advantage, they took all these skills, but let's not forget how strong that Jace is. And there were a lot of health bars that were really low, and a lot of mana bars empty. So I think Bontech overstayed their welcome right there.
Exactly, like they didn't need to go that aggressive. They needed to just back off after they got the tower right away. And Jace, like, I don't know, one of the champions, he's gonna, when you see people that low, you're gonna go into your hammer form, you're gonna try to smash the ground, you're gonna pop your, I'm trying to think of the electrified field, and then you're gonna do a lot of damage. And they just, I don't think they expected that. They didn't expect the aggressive play. He got 2 kills. You got to see the 3-3-3 Jace now, so at least, oh well.
Race has been caught off guard on the side with the Sejuani, and the Ornn is very far away to be able to catch him. And Sejuani is gonna be sandwiched right now in between the Ryze and the Jace, running away towards her jungle. And she's going to be safe, but everything is warded right now from PT, and the Elise is heading towards the bot lane. Potential dive is in the cards right there because Repel is really strong. Azir's going to be going away towards his wolves though.
Oh yeah, like he got caught out off guard, but he just went straight there because he knows Sejuani is there to back up. But Sejuani is going to run into the Jace. That's not somebody you want to be fighting right now, especially after the last you saw in the engagement. And he is going to be going down to the Elise. Hello Elise, you want all the kills, don't you? But you're going to see the re-engagement. Here comes the Ornn ultimate from the side. There's a lot of damage going there, but he doesn't fall. Does eventually fall. Jace is going to be going down from the Boris. And here comes a messy team fight. The ultimate from Boris is going to be out. And, Azir's going to be caught out. Braum is stuck right there in the Elise.
They need to run.
Around, and they need to get out of this engagement right here. This is basically how they're going to get back into this one. With the dragon spawning very shortly, that's kind of a fight you don't want to start losing, all of your team members to.
3-4-2 for the side of DD. I would take that trade and the dragon as well. They are 3k ahead right now, and if the Ryze can 2v1 the enemy ADC and the tankiest member in their team, I would take this anytime also. So far, we have most of the kills gathered on both the junglers. They just want everything.
That's something like Elise right there was like, hey, just give it to me. Oh, look, there's another one. Oh, hey, there's another one as well. So, like, that is, Elise is going to do a lot of damage. And, like, Elise right now is just catching people off guard, is doing so much work in terms of a jungler. And the same can be said for the Sejuani.
Bot bot lane was a little bit late into the party right there. I mean, Leona was right there, but the Zarya took so long to come that I feel like if the Zarya was there fairly earlier, there could have been a lot more advantage that they could take. They could even take the ace right there. Really good rotation, although, from Bontech to be able to take the only tower that is unsupervised. But look what is happening right now. 5 members on DD are coming to face the team of Bontech. Only 4 members of them and only 2 ultimates available for Bontech though, and Azir is making his way down. You know what? They're gonna pull it off. Because why not?
Why not? Like, these teams
Burnt
are
both
to the
TPs
point. Yeah, they burnt both TPs, but like kind of that's exactly even. Like right there, it is going to force, like, somebody needs to go to the top lane to clear this big wave that is going to be coming in shortly. So you could see potentially, you know, Jace moving up to try and snowball this wave into the tower and continue to push the objective. But like right now, Rift Herald is still up, but Jace is going to get caught off guard. And the Ornn ultimate is going to come in from the side, but he doesn't land the second knock-up as he just gets over the wall. And that's a quad like, they did burn 2 ultimates for that, and Jace does get away. And then you have this fight coming up for, you know, the Rift Herald right now. And I'd have to say, right now, you don't want to contest this. Your teams are so, you're only 2k gold behind. And then you want to get the objective, you want to start pushing up. But Ornn is in the top lane, so they could be going for an aggressive engagement here, trying to catch him off guard, as Raz does quite a bit of damage onto, you know, Varus in the mid lane.
Look how tanky this Leona is already. Because they do, at this point, they do need the 3 tanks, which they played with again last game. They had Ornn and a Maokai in the jungle and a Thresh into the bot lane. And again, they have kept 3 big tanks into their team with the addition of Sejuani and Leona this time. And they've added, in my opinion, better carries into this composition that they have, because the Varus can very easily melt tanks late game. He does have the poke as well, and the Azir can continuously deal more and more damage because the Ryze was never able to scale into the last game. But in this case, we do have the Ryze on the other side that is scaling already 19 minutes into the game, and then you have 3 more threats in the team of DD that can literally melt down tanks. And on the other hand, you have a split pusher on the Jace that is gonna need to pull at least 2 members of Bontech to stop him dead in his tracks.
Well, like you are
or
seeing,
you make any other play.
Yeah, like right now, they are waiting for the play around, you know, the Rift Herald, and like, time is running out. You don't have too much time to really play around that one. So I think both teams might actually just try to give this up and go for an engagement in the mid lane and try push an objective out, because right now, the team that loses a team fight by an objective will lose quite a few objectives and potentially, you know, the Baron that's about to spawn in 19 seconds. But they are going for this Rift Herald, and like, right now, I don't think the reply is right there for Bontech. Like, they can't really go on this, but like the same thing, you know, Dimension are playing this safe. Look how they just disengage and walk out there.
They are clearing all this area because Baron is about to spawn right now. Baron is up, and that becomes an objective very worth taking, especially when you have Azir with Nasus too. He does so much continuous damage with his soldiers that this Baron could be going down faster than DD think it can.
Oh yeah, and like right now, these teams are, as much as you see a little bit of the gold lead there for DD, I'd have to say, like, right now it's anybody's game. So that's why they're playing so passive. They're not trying to take these risky engagements. They're not trying to, you know, have the aggressive onto the Rift Herald. They're not trying to, you know, force objectives when they don't need to be. But look how they've just caught out in the mid lane. But the Varus ultimate is going to go out to kind of, you know, disengage from it. The poke is going to come out, but right then, that's going to be forcing an engagement. You see Jace is just going to be hammering on to the Sejuani. He's going to be going off. But there should be a tower going down in the mid lane, but they do manage to, you know, clear the wave very quickly and then just get out of there. But here comes Jace from the side.
This is the problem where it becomes problematic for Bontech, because if they get enough, if that E-mid from Leona, they have got the Elise though. Stun after stun on top of her, but now there's 4 members of Bontech grouped up. And that is where Braum shines. The ultimate is gonna miss because everybody's gonna flash away from it. The beautiful Azir ultimate to keep Zarya away from this fight. Nobody has died yet other than the Elise at the start. Same as Sejuani and the Jace are gonna go down. Same as Leona, they're chasing the Ryze. It's gonna be going down also. 2 for 3 for this time, but this time it is for Bontech, and they are 1 kill ahead. 2k gold behind, but the 1 kill ahead, and what keeps them alive is that if they can catch somebody off guard, they will take the advantage. They literally deleted Elise there. See, I think that was a misstep right there by the Elise. You don't want to be going anywhere near that Leona, because if the E misses, you saw that Leona flashed instantly away to be able to stun the Elise up place, and then the Azir was coming from the side, and because you have the Varus, she instantly got deleted right there. So I was about to say, here's where the problem happens. When Bontech is forced to stay underneath the tower with so much poke, you have the Rice poke, you have the Brown poke, basically every single champion, and the most dangerous, the Jace, can poke you underneath your tower. So if you're not able to engage fast enough and you get into that poke fight, DD also has a lot of potential for team fight. So it's kind of a win-win situation on the towers, unless your Elise gets caught.
But also they didn't take too much after winning that fight there and taking the advantage. They didn't go down to Dragon, they didn't go up to Baron, they just straightfully cleared out the waves and backed off. So there's a lot of respect from, Bontech right now, being like, well, you guys can easily, engage with 2 people, as you see, the engagement coming out from there, and then Brahm's just going to put up his wall right there with this amazing door and just back off right there as they siege the mid lane. The Azir tower is up, so there's some breathing room right there. They are going to clear the vision, but we should start to see these teams, pressure the objectives a lot more, especially now that we're heading into, it is 23 minutes in, so one of these teams is going to be making a breakaway shortly the moment the team fight starts to happen, and that's when you're going to see the objectives being pushed. That's when you're going to see the Baron plays come up. But as the play right now is going to be pushing on the top lane, as you see just all of these members piling onto this core tower, passive's going to be dropped, and there goes the tower, and they continue to push. So they are trying to bite off, and get back into this game quite early on, but the TP is going to come up.
Oh, he was backing up, he's TPing onto that tower, and they have caught the Leona before she can engage or use anything, or the ultimate. The Swanee might be getting stunned. No, they're not gonna proc the Braum passive, but guess what? The whole of DD is coming in with the Rise ultimate, and the Orange is gonna be going down. I've seen this before. They take the Azir down also, and this is a 3-0 for the side of DD, and that smells like Baron to me.
Oh, like that right there is like kind of why the question mark came out from me. Like, okay, you got the tower, you got the objective, you forced them there, you kind of forced Jace to pull out of that fight, get away, go back to Baron, and try to have a team fight there on a little bit more even ground. But like, look at Sejuani just hanging around, getting bursted down to half HP. Varus is hanging around, and now going to turn into him. Jace does so much damage onto the Varus. He should be going down shortly if they do turn for him, but they go for the Sejuani instead. Out comes the ultimate from Leona, not really able to do too much, and that's Sejuani out of this one. Baron is going to be, taken, and they're just going to move back, and they should be setting up for the Dragon shortly. But like right then, that fight, like we spoke about earlier on, different dimension, just keep catching Bontech off guard, and like he's making these little mistakes, and then dimension are taking on and pushing out objectives and continue turning the fights around. It's like to a point. You can't make any mistake. The moment you make the mistake, you lose this advantage. And like a 4k gold lead right now, it's definitely starting to stretch and starting to show.
Exactly, this is what I wanted to point out when you said it. What we see here is Bontech with a very, very capable draft, able to beat the draft of DD. They engage soon enough before all the poke comes in. But we see so many mistakes again. The nerves are getting on them. I don't know what it is. We saw it last game. Mistakes lost them last game. They pressured where they didn't have to. They didn't scale enough to their possibilities. And now this is happening again. We see mistake after mistake. While they had the upper hand, like you said, they're now 4k down. And I'm not sure with all this poke and the Baron buff that DD have, how they're going to be able to defend their towers.
Okay, that's the thing, like, it just slipped from them, just a tiny little bit. They pushed a little bit too aggressively, but Dimension instantly reacted like, oh, well, we can take this. And then we got the Baron, we got the buff, and then they're just going to push out the lanes. And this Jace right now is just continually chunking down towers in the bot lane. Look how much damage he just did right there onto that tower, while also poking the Ornn. So unless they shut down this Jace, which they should be doing shortly. Like right now, Jace is overextending. You are going to be, there we go. There comes the Sejuani. Here comes the Jace. He's going to leap on there. He's going to knock away, but he should be going down right now. But look who's coming in from the side. It's going to be the Raz, but Jace is going to fall, and that's going to leave Raz there, just staying there, you know, trying to take a 1v2. He should be able to try and get away, but look at the action that's happening by the top bush right now as the least finds a kill onto Leona. And this right now, this Raz is so tanky, but he should be going down shortly. He should be able to try and get a kill right here, but he is going to flash and get away just a little bit. The chase is going to pursue a little bit, but look at Varus's HP right now. The Elise is going to be going under the tower, trying to take him down. But look at the turnaround from the Varus. There comes the damage, taking Elise down.
Oh.
And we see another return kill from the Xayah onto the Azir. And this is just going back and forth right now.
It's
but
all
look
over
who's
the
coming
place.
up from the mid. Look who's coming back from the bot lane engagement, as Razm was able to live for that one.
He had to flash away on the last second to save his life right there, and this is one who's going to be engaging onto that Xayah, who has no ultimate, but she does have a heal. Is the Braum going to be enough to keep her alive? The heal is going to be getting popped, and pop is going to be the Sejuani as well by the return of Feathers. And while this is happening, the Rise with the Baron buff on him takes bot lane tier 2. I don't know what happened this fight. It was all over the place. Mistakes from both teams, back and forth. Jace getting caught all on his own. No communication there for the Rise to come in any earlier. And then we have a very messy fight in the jungle where the Leona dies because she get caught, and then they turn onto the Varus, and then the Varus takes the fight onto his Azir, and then the Azir is exposed and dies, and then, oh my goodness. All in all, that was a trade that was very messy, but DD will take, because in the end it gave them more kills, and the bot lane tier tower 6k ahead right now in the game.
Oh yeah, and like that's where these you're getting to the point where these small advantages, you're going to take them. Like you're not looking for these, you know, team aces or anything special. You're just going to see the pressure that they're going to put onto it. And Jace right now is completely just pushing in the bot lane, and there's like no response, and that's just going to leave Jace to, oh well, I can go to the top lane now and pressure here, because he does so much damage to the tower, and right now Ornn can't fight him.
You can also very well send your Rise onto a side lane as well and have him TP and move in the last second, but the Braum has been caught off guard. Leona ultimate is going to be going down on him, but I'm not sure that's the target you want to be hitting. He is a very beefy, but the Varus ultimate might make his death right here. Sejuani ultimate as well, and he finally goes down into 4 ultimates for that Braum to go down, but the Rise might pay for it as well. Look how long he's tanking. Stopwatch is going to be popped, but there's no ultimate this time to take him away, and the rest of DD are onto the back line of Bontech. Varus is going to be getting engaged, shut down for the ADC of DD, and now we have, oh my god, look at all this damage coming out. The Xayah and the Elise on the other side. The Bontech members are sandwiched right here, and look at this front line from the Xayah. He's really fearless. 8, 1, and 3. Shotguns is going to be landing on the Azir, who's going to be dashing away from all this fight, but Ornn might be paying with his life right here. He's flaming his way away, and he is indeed going to be surviving. The Sejuani is sitting right behind them, ready to re-engage, but I'm not sure you want to re-engage when the only 2 members you have alive except for yourself are super low in HP. Xayah is going to be retaining, and the Cocoon is going to be landing. Can they kill him this time? No, they can't. Solari is going to be popped, and all members of Bontech are going to be running away in fear and low HP bars.
Well, that's that late game Xayah, and like an 8-1-3 Xayah is going to hurt you. Like if you can't pop her early on in the team fight, she's going to do a lot of damage, and she's going to continue to just be, you know, if she's left alive long enough, like we saw in that fight, she just continues to dish out damage. She can chase people, then her ultimate comes out. Then right now, that Xayah is paying off for them. Like Varus can't do too much. He did pop his ultimate earlier on. He did get caught off guard. So like right now, the cracks are starting to show once again, as you know, Dimension are just going to continue to push this advantage, and Ornn getting caught out as well, doing like, there's not too much that can go right for them at this moment.
I am not sure Braum is the person that you want to be spending every single CC you have. I mean, Varus ultimate, Leona ultimate, Ornn ultimate, and Sejuani ultimate. Everything used for that Braum, who was very happily going down, because then in the end, there was no CC left for the 2 huge carries of DD that were running around literally like crazy, being able to put down damage, and then there was no CC to stop them anymore.
Well, like right then, the Xayah is just going to be cutting. Like there's nothing to really stop her, so why not? She's just going to do so much damage in that point. So hopefully they learn from this. Like right here and right then, they go like, okay guys, we need to actually focus down the Xayah. We need to try to take it. But look at Jace, how much damage he's doing. He's going to be taking the Drake all alone in the bottom. And I think the moment they see that, they're going to try and make a play by Baron. So we could potentially see, you know, a little bit of a fight come up. He does have TP, so he can join the fight. He is going to go back though, and
he doesn't only have TP. Look at all these flank wards in the jungle.
That's what I've just noticed.
Yeah, that he can TP to flank with Shock Blast. But Bontech will be very aware because they also have a lot of wards behind them. So if that TP is about to commence and come in, they do know where it's coming from. But the Baron is going to be starting from the side. Comes Rise, and what does BT want to do? Do they want to go onto the Drake? No, they want to go onto the Rise. It's gonna be Zhonya's and ulting away out of the fight, but that's one ultimate less. Oh my god, that's one ultimate is gonna be missing right there, but they have got that Jace off guard onto the side, and down he goes. Daggers trying to put down the damage. The gold comes to knock in the Rise, but the Sejuani falls to the hands of the Xayah. And now to the hands of the Rise, the Ornn falls, and the Dagger is trying to 1v1 the Azir. Let's see who's gonna come on top of that. Nobody's gonna be dying right there, but they have got the Elise burning away on the Ignite, and the Azir is gonna be able to finish her while Rise is finishing the Azir. What is going on right here? Braum is gonna be returning the fight onto the Leona and the Varus, and it's 2 versus 2, but the bot lane of Bontech have the HP advantage over the Rise and the Xayah of different dimension. But they do have 2 Ocean Drakes, so they might be able to refresh these bars really quickly when they're out of combat. Rise is going to be taking his blue buff right here, and he might want to return into this fight.
Wave.
Exactly. They might want to delay here, chase them away from backing off. No, they're going to back off themselves, but that huge wave in the bot lane is going to be taken by the jungler of Bontech, and we keep on seeing all these chaotic like fights. They're all over the place, and that Jace misposition right there, we said how it was a waste of ultimates from Bontech to throw everything onto the Braum. The second that Jace mispositions and he eats all the ultimates, that's worth ultimates used right there from Bontech.
Oh yeah. Like, and also going into that, right there, they did initiate on the Baron. Like, I don't like seeing teams that are behind initiate Baron without, you know, you want to catch the other team off guard. But it did kind of work a little bit in their favor to a point. But, like, right now, they kind of have to deal with protecting their base. Look how low this tower is in the bot lane. And look how quick Jace actually pushes, you know, the lanes. And right now, you're going to have to try and focus on a 4v4 with the Baron and then try and protect your base.
Oh boy, the TP comes in from the Ornn, and the Braum has been caught on the side yet again. He has no flash to get away. And where did the Rise take the rest? He took them backwards, and the Jace in the bot lane does have TP if needed. The Baron has been started, and it's going down super fast. Are we going to see a steal right here? All the ultimates are going to be dropping onto the Elite, repel away and into the Baron kit. But that's not going to help her because she's going to die way before that Baron is in smite range. But the Jace is hammering away that inhibitor tower. 3 members are gonna be backing away. They're gonna stop the 4th one, but they're very fast back. And at least they did something here for the 2 deaths and the Baron that Bontech took. And let's see right now what they can save from this Baron buff push that we're about to see. Or are we going to be seeing an engage right here because Sejuani does have ultimates? He's going to be dropping it onto the Zaya. But look at that damage coming back from the Zaya and the Rise. Plus E for the Leona is going to be getting flushed away.
But that does pop the ultimate from Zaya.
Well, that was the only way because that wasn't the flash. That was indeed the ultimate from Zaya that is going to be saving her skin right there. But that's it. And right now Leona does have her ultimate up and Zaya has nothing up, no summoners. So the next fight that's about to commence is going to be make or break for both teams. 5k ahead in between them, going towards the favor of DD in this instance. So let's see. They do have a team comp that can dive, Bontech. So, and like I said before, that Zaya has literally 0 summoners right now. So let's see if they are going to be able to push and dive, or they're going to be able to even stop this Jace in the bot lane, who's going to split push again because the Ornn does not have TP to join his team if a fight breaks.
Oh, like that's like right now they're gonna have to dedicate somebody to the bot lane. Right now it is the Ornn who does do a lot of damage into the Jace, but Jace should be winning this engagement if he does miss the goat right there. But he does. But look, here comes from the side Sejuani,
Oh my
and
god!
he is gonna get the flash, and he is gonna get the kill in the end. So, worth it.
That was
As your mid lane.
very worth it because you took the jungler down there as well. Sejuani did not, unfortunately, have an ultimate for Bontech right there to be able to stop the Jace from taking that kill. That was a 1v2 on the last second right there for the Jace. So worth for the top lane of DD because he stopped that push dead in his tracks. The second that DD saw that Sejuani in the bot lane, they're like, cool. Let's push them our way this time. And now only Bontech is grouping again. And everybody's going back because, you know what? The push has been called off. Their tank is dead.
Yeah, like that. I don't know, like that engagement. Jace is forcing so many people in the bot lane just to deal with this. And every time that's happened, every time we've seen an engagement in the mid lane. And so far, we've seen, Dimension just playing the smart, pushing out the objective and going back. But like right now, if they don't protect this bot inhibitor, there's going to be some awkward team fights going on in the mid and top lane.
Well, so far we have Elder Drake that has spawned, and I'm pretty sure both teams would like this underneath their belt. And if both teams don't want it underneath the belt, which I'm not sure why they wouldn't, there are 3 dragons on DD. If they take that Elder Drake, it's going to mean a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah,
for
like,
Bontech.
you don't want to give this.
They are engaged onto the Varus. They have got him onto the side. The Varus is doing insane damage onto the Varus. Leona ultimate is going to be trying to help the Varus away right there. And the Q is going to be landing Cleanse away from the Varus, but at least burning away. And the Ornn is going to be the first one to fall. Sejuani is going to be following down, and they don't care that they have the Elder Drake right now. They want every single one of them dead. Beautiful ultimate to throw from back away from him. The Azir is going to be surviving, but that's 3 for 0. 3 for 0 right here. And they are 7k ahead. They have got the Azir. Can they get him? Yes. Last second right there. The Jace was literally walking in front of him. I'm not sure whether he was shopping. Exactly, I'm not sure whether he was shopping or whatever the Jace right there, but he seemed to kind of like ignore the Azir. Maybe he just wanted to let him leave. They are going to be taking the first inhibitor of the game though, and they have their eye onto the second one as well. Inhibitor tower gonna be going down. Little bit of Varus poke coming onto the right, and they want to finish the game right here. The game's gonna be going down. Oh my god, the pop right there. That critical strike from the Zaya meant end of life for the Varus, and another fight's about to commence. So many knockups onto that Brom that is going to be going down, but they have their eye onto the Nexus. They are turning the fight onto the Sejuani, which is not going to be going down. Feathers come back onto the Zaya. Shut down for the Ornn. Double kill for the Ornn, and shut down at last on the Zaya. 11-9. Somebody stop this guy. They have only managed to stop this guy at their Nexus. Is it enough though?
Honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do to this one. Like right now, you know how much Jace does, how much damage he does, and how fast he can actually use the auto attacks. I think they're gonna have to just have somebody permanently just sitting by the inhibitor. Otherwise, they're gonna be losing it. And especially the Nexus. Like I don't know what they're gonna have to pull to do this, because they tried to deny the Elder Dragon. Rightful thing to deny it, but at what cost? You lost 4 of your members, and then you lose, your towers, 2 inhibitors, and then your Nexus towers, and that is so much trouble for them right now. Like Baron is going to be spawning up soon, and I could probably tell you, like, this should be a free Baron for different dimension, because unless you contest and catch them off guard, if you get caught out there, that's it. That's the game going like completely away, and that's going to be the 2-0. So like right now, they're on the edge of the cliff. Like there's not much they can do to get back into this one unless they find a miracle play by catching them off guard with the Baron or something. I don't know what we're going to see, but like it's going to be I'm speechless. Pretty much.
There were 2 mistakes right there, back to back from both teams.
Oh, yeah.
Bontech tried to deny the Elder Dragon because they didn't want it in the hands of DD, but that didn't necessarily mean they had to engage it themselves and get into a fight they didn't want to. They could simply just force a fight around the Elder Drake without having to like start the Elder Drake and tank it as well. So that was number one mistake right there from Bontech, because they were forced into a position where they didn't want to be, because the Varus got caught on his own on the left side versus the right, whilst if they had figured out how to engage on DD without having to start the Drake, that could have been a completely different fight where Varus could be standing on the backside with all his tanks on the front line. And then we saw so much miscommunication right there from DD. Half of their members were hitting the Nexus, and half of their members were hitting like the enemy players from DD, and that could have very easily been the end right there. But we are going to see a Baron right here for DD, which is
Look
not
how
going to be
fast it's
contested
going down.
exactly. And we're going to see most likely the last push of the game. If Bontech has a life left in them right here, this is where they're going to have to give their last breath, because that's going to be a really, really tough Baron to defend against. Oh, they are going on to the Jace though. Swanny ultimate is going to be landing flash away though from the Leona ultimate. That's two huge ultimates that Bontech is not going to have for the next fight. And 5 Baron up members. Oh my god, they're going for the backdoor onto the Nexus, the Rise and the Jace. Nexus is on half HP and the Rise is all on his own. It's between 5 members of Bontech. Now the Zarya is onto the Nexus. Double kill for the Baron. What is going on, Ghost Star? They are
You
going
just
to
need
get
one more hit.
ace. Oh my god.
Well, we spoke about mistakes, and if you're starting to make this one, this could potentially cost you, your own inhibitor. But right now, look at the death time. It's 48 seconds, but you can't leave your base unattended. You're gonna have to push somebody out the bot lane. You're gonna have to push somebody out the mid lane, and you're gonna have to try and take something. Like right now, you want to get back into this game. This is how you do it. You get the team ace. You stop them right there. Your inhibitors are going to be coming back up shortly. You're going to push down the mid lane, take as much as you can. This could be the turnaround, but I don't see them getting there fast enough. Like right now, Sejuani is tanky, but the death time is already at 18 seconds on the Jace, and that's going to be him back in the fight very much to defend this, their Nexus itself. But I think right now we're going to see a complete mirror image. We're going to see,
Oh my god,
different dimension have to defend the inhibitor.
Right here, what have DD
8
done
seconds.
to their 2-0 clean sweep?
3 seconds.
Varus is gonna be throwing his ultimate out there. Now the whole of Bontech is on the next, and this time, are they decisive enough to keep on hitting him? They are! And we are going to see a third game. What have DD done? What have they done?
They made a mistake. We spoke about mistakes. They made the biggest mistake ever, which was just being way
my
too
God.
greedy in a close game. I don't know how that happened. It happened. They completely lost that one. I can't explain. Like, I'm speechless to how you throw a game that hard. But like, that was just perfect decision making, perfect play. Got back into it. They saw the death timers, and then they just started running up mid. And that's when you start to get the fear in your eyes. Oh dear, they're going for our own Nexus. Have we messed up? And they ended up doing it, and that did cost them the game. So we are going to be moving to the third matchup to see who is going to be victorious in this one.
Oh my god. I'm actually speechless right here. So much miscommunication. It happened when they first saw the Nexus. The fight broke. Half of the people were hitting the Nexus. Half of the people were hitting Bontech. And then
They could have won it right then.
Exactly. They get the
if
Baron.
they focused it.
They're almost 10k ahead. They get the Baron. 3 members are up in the top lane. They had just wasted Leona ultimate from Bontech and Sejuani. They could have very easily taken the third inhibitor right there and force Bontech into a very, very sore situation.
Like, I don't know.
They
Like,
messed this up by
we spoke about decision making.
They messed this up by taking the Rise and the Jace between 5 members of Bontech, while the rest 3 members of DD are in the top lane trying to take Inhibitor Tower, which in the end they didn't even, because they tried to join their team but too late. And then they decide to do the same again by ignoring every single member of Bontech that does damage, just dive into the Nexus. Oh my god. If there is a definition for a throw, ladies and gentlemen, it just was unveiled right in front of you. We are going to throw it into a very small break. Stay where you are, because we are indeed, believe it or not, going on to a third game between Different Dimension and Bontech, so stay tuned.